They say go slow in Caye Caulker, but our time here was anything but. From swimming with dozens of sharks to hunting for seahorses right by the shore, this tiny island on the Mesoamerican Barrier Reef is a backpacker's dream, if you know how to navigate it. I'm Libby, and this is how to do Caye Caulker on a budget, the ocean to jungle way. Our transition from Mexico to Belize started with a bus ride from Bacalar to the harbour town of Chetumal. This is the jumping off point for the islands, with the San Pedro Express running daily boats from here to both Ambergris and Caye Caulker. I'd recommend getting here a few hours early as you have to officially exit Mexico and fill out quite a few forms. But whilst you're waiting, don't forget to look out into the harbour as you might spot a few bottlenose dolphins. The San Pedro Express boat is a great budget option, as well as being perfect for DIY backpackers, as you can book your tickets online. However, the boat is not direct all the way to Caye Caulker and stops first at Ambergris Caye or the town of San Pedro for immigration into Belize. You then reboard the boat and continue your journey towards Caye Caulker. The timing of the boat is also perfect, and as you make the final leg to Caye Caulker, you'll watch the Caribbean turn gold. There's no better welcome to an island than the sunset from the boat. Belize is not a cheap country and is sometimes considered not to be very backpacker friendly, so we booked Caye Caulker Beach Hotel, which has a fantastic roof terrace and supposedly a kitchen too, which was going to help us with our budget. However, this kitchen was pretty tragic, so thank God there are some cheap options. Our favourite was Erlin's House of Fry Jacks, an absolute Caye Caulker institution. There are no cars on Caye Caulker, but that's fine because everything is generally in walking distance. But if you fancy a splurge, you can rent a golf buggy. One of the most popular things to do on the island is to visit a region known as the Split. This is where the island was literally carved in two by a Hurricane Hattie back in 1961. It's also where two of the island's most popular bars are. We preferred Sip and Dip to Lazy Lizard as it was a bit more chill and the drinks were cheaper for exactly the same. But don't just drink at the bars and remember to bring your snorkel and mask. We frequently saw eagle rays gliding through the deeper water right at the Split, and it's one of the few places that you can see them for free without a boat tour. Another amazing free spot is the beach at Iguana Reef Inn. The locals feed the southern stingrays here, so they are incredibly friendly, maybe a bit too friendly for some. But the real treasure here is right by the shore at the Seahorse Ranch. We found this seahorse, look at the size of him. It's incredible to see these prehistoric looking creatures just chilling in the shallow water. The beach also faces due west, making it the ultimate sunset spot. To really see the Mesoamerican reef here, you have to go on a boat. We went with Salt Life Eco Tours. The first stop was Tarpon Point. Our guides didn't feed them, but if you hold your hand over the water, the massive fish still jump up. And then we headed out over the Caribbean Sea, primarily looking for the lone manatee that is known to live here, but we weren't lucky enough to see him. The first snorkel spot that we went to wasn't too exciting, as it was more of a place to test out our snorkel skills and make sure that we were safe enough to visit some of the later regions. However, we still saw turtles and nurse sharks at this spot, so we thought it was worth it too. From here we headed over to the crown jewel of this region, Hol Chan Marine Reserve. It's highly regulated and you only get 45 minutes here, but the biodiversity is insane. It's like swimming in a literal aquarium. And even during the lunch break, we couldn't stay out of the water. And at this spot, we saw more eagle rays flying through the blue, with their tails so long they look almost like ribbons in the current. There was also several more southern stingrays and plenty of fish to keep us busy. The final stop was Shark and Ray Alley, and jumping into the water with 20 circling sharks, even if they were the docile nurse sharks, was still a bit of a rush. The reason this region is so densely packed with nurse sharks and southern stingrays is the high prevalence of the conch shells. This area is basically an all-you-can-eat buffet. You'll often see pairs that look like a mum and baby swimming side by side, and whilst they are social and often rest in groups, the nurse name actually comes from the sucking sound they make whilst eating these conch shells. They don't have traditional teeth, and they actually suck the conch out of their shells. They're basically 10-foot long, very gentle hoovers, and seeing them interact like this is just a reminder of how misunderstood sharks can be. For us, 5 days in Caye Caulker was just enough to embrace the go slow lifestyle. And if you're on a budget, it is a stretch, but for the wildlife alone, it's totally worth it. Thanks for watching. And for the full DIY guide to Caye Caulker on a budget, head to my blog at oceantojungle.com. Bye!